It started with a single cruel sentence. "You people shouldn't even be living here." That was the first thing the president of our HOA said to my disabled daughter. She didn't know who I was or what I used to do for a living. Where are you watching this from right now? Drop your country in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you've ever dealt with an HOA like this one. I spent 12 years as a Navy SEAL, trained to stay calm under fire, but nothing prepared me for the day my little girl's wheelchair was kicked by the woman who ruled our neighborhood like her personal kingdom. She thought she could humiliate us and hide behind bylaws, committees, and fake smiles. She thought she could control the neighborhood with gossip and power. What she didn't know was that it'd bring every skill, every ounce of discipline, and every bit of truth I had to make sure she never hurt another family again. My name's Jake Morrison. I moved into Mad Alberta Estates 3 years ago after my wife passed away. My daughter Emma was only 6 then, bright, brave, born with cerebral palsy. We chose this neighborhood because it promised accessibility, quiet streets, and a family-friendly community. At first, everything looked perfect. The lawns were trimmed like golf courses. The neighbors waved politely. The HOA newsletter bragged about property values and community events. But under all that perfection was something rotten, the sense that only certain kinds of families were truly welcome. And at the center of it all was Linda Prescott, HOA president. She smiled like she cared, but her eyes were cold, the kind that measured you before deciding if you belonged. She loved power more than people. The first sign came a month after moving in. A letter appeared in my mailbox. "Your daughter's wheelchair ramp does not complete with community aesthetics." It was hand-signed by Linda. I called her, thinking it was a misunderstanding. "Ma'am, my daughter needs the ramp to enter our home." She sighed. "We understand, but the ramp must match the exterior wood stain. Rules are rules." I repainted it. Still, she wasn't satisfied. Then came noise complaints about Emma's physical therapy sessions. And about the van I used to transport her wheelchair. Each complaint sharper, more personal. When I confronted Linda at the next home meeting, she smiled sweetly in front of everyone. "Oh, Jake, we're just trying to keep standards. Surely you understand." Everyone laughed nervously, and I realized no one dared cross her. But I wasn't built to back down. It faced worse bullies than Linda Prescott, only they wore uniforms instead of pearls. The real trouble started one Saturday afternoon. Emma had just finished therapy, and we decided to stop by the community clubhouse for ice cream, part of an HOA-sponsored family day. When we rolled in, laughter echoed through the hall. Kids were running around, parents chatting near the snack tables. For once, it felt normal. Until Linda saw us. Her smile froze mid-sentence. "Oh, Jake, I didn't realize your daughter would be attending." "She's a resident," I said evenly. "Of course she's attending." Linda's eyes narrowed. "You know, this event has limited mobility space. We have to be mindful of." "Mindful of what?" I asked, my voice low. "My daughter's existence." That silenced the crowd. Emma shrank into her chair. I forced myself to bray. We tried to ignore her, heading toward the dessert table. But then it happened. Emma's wheelchair brushed Linda's shoe as she turned. Linda snapped, "Watch where you're going, sweetheart." "It was an accident," I said. Her tone sharpened. "This is why I keep telling people special needs families need supervision. Maybe you should stay home next time." The room went still. Emma's face fell. I could see her lip tremble. And then the moment that changed everything, Linda kicked the front wheel of Emma's chair. Hard enough to jolt it backward. Ass filled the air. Emma cried out. I caught the chair before it tipped. The old me, the soldier me, wanted to react. But I didn't. Not yet. I looked at Linda, calm, steady, controlled rage behind my eyes. "You just assaulted my child," I said quietly. Linda's face went pale, then defensive. "Oh, don't be dramatic. It was barely a tap." "Barely a tap," I repeated. "In front of 20 witnesses." That's when people started pulling out their phones. Within minutes, the host family event had turned into a scandal. Linda stormed off, muttering threats. "You'll regret this, Jake. I'll make sure you're evicted." She didn't know I had security cameras at home. And that one of them, the clubhouse exterior cam it helped install during a volunteer project, captured everything. That night, Emma asked me, "Daddy, am I disgusting?" My heart shattered. "No, baby, you are brave. You are perfect. I'd let one cruel person make you doubt that." But I couldn't sleep. So I did what I was trained to do. I planned. I pulled up the whole charter, every bylaw, every financial report I could find. I found inconsistencies, missing funds, strange vendor payments, and board decisions made without member votes. Linda had been running the whole like her personal empire, and using fear to silence anyone who questioned her. On Monday morning, the video from Family Day was everywhere. It had leaked on social media, posted by a teen who recorded the entire incident. The caption read, "How President Assaults Disabled Child During Community Event." Within hours, it had thousands of views. Comments poured in. Outrage spread. That evening, a special HOA meeting was called. Linda walked in wearing sunglasses and a forced smile. "We're here to address the unfortunate misunderstanding." Misunderstanding. I stood up. We all saw the video. The crowd murmured. Some nodded. Others avoided her gaze. "You attacked a child," I said. "And you threatened her father with eviction. That's not leadership, that's cruelty." Linda's mask cracked. "You don't understand how things work here, Jake. I make the rules." "Not anymore." I slid a folder across the table, copies of HOA expense reports and screenshots of her unauthorized transfers. "You've been embezzling HOA funds for 2 years. Asks filled the room. "You have no proof." "Actually," I said, "I have plenty, and so does the police department. I filed a report this morning." For the first time, Linda was silent. Her hands trembled. The vice president of the board, Thomas Whitfield, cleared his throat. Effective immediately, I motioned to suspend Linda Prescott pending investigation. The vote was unanimous. As security escorted her out, Linda hissed, "You'll regret this, Morrison. It'll ruin you." I leaned in and whispered, "You already tried, and you failed." Over the next few weeks, the investigation uncovered everything: missing HOA dues, fraudulent contracts, even a fake maintenance company that funneled money straight to her personal account. Local news picked up the story. HOA president charged with assault and fraud. Our quiet neighborhood became the epicenter of scandal. Reporters camped outside the gates. Residents whispered apologies. But the best moment came when the detective told me, "Your evidence made this erudite. She's done." For once, justice wasn't just a word in a rulebook. It was real. 2 months later, Linda stood before a judge. The courtroom was packed: neighbors, reporters, even board members. Emma and I sat in the front row. The video played. The sound of her kick echoed through the room. Linda lowered her head. The judge didn't hold back. "Mrs. Prescott, your actions were cruel, deliberate, and unbecoming of someone in a position of community leadership." She was sentenced to 3 years probation, 400 hours of community service, and ordered to pay restitution to both the HOA and to Emma for emotional damages. But her real punishment came from the world outside. She lost her job. Her social circle evaporated. Every news clip, every online thread carried her name beside one word: bully. Meanwhile, our neighborhood began to heal. Thomas became interim president and called a meeting to make things right. "Jake," he said, "we're implementing a new code of conduct: zero tolerance for discrimination or harassment." He turned to Emma. "And we'd like to honor you for your courage." At the next community event, Emma rolled up to the clubhouse stage. The same room where she had been humiliated now echoed with applause. Neighbors clapped, some with tears in their eyes. Thomas presented her with a small plaque. "For bravery, kindness, and reminding us what community truly means." Emma smiled shyly. "Thank you, and not brave because I wasn't scared, and brave because I stood up anyway." That line stayed with everyone. Afterward, neighbors came up with gifts, cookies, cards, little signs that said, "We stand with Emma." The same people who once avoided eye contact now wanted to help. Real change was happening. As for me, I rebuilt my life around peace instead of anger. Every night, when I tuck Emma in, she asks, "Daddy, did the bad lady go to jail yet?" "Not yet, princess," I tell her. But she's learning her lesson. And she always smiles, satisfied. Justice didn't come from violence or revenge. It came from truth. From standing tall when it mattered most. Sometimes the loudest battles don't happen overseas, they happen right in our neighborhoods, behind HOA gates and manicured lawns. When people use power to hurt instead of help, it's up to us to stand up calmly, firmly, and completely. Lena Prescott thought she could crush a child's spirit with cruelty and control. Instead, she exposed herself and reminded an entire community what real strength looks like. So I'll ask you, what would you have done if you were in my place? Would you have stayed silent or fought back for what's right?